Alright, welcome back to Elite Wrestle Talk here via Hip Hop XXIV as we talk about Daniel Bryan. And it's been reported and rumored that Daniel Bryan has signed with AEW. I guess we should start calling him Bryan Danielson now that he is apparently no longer with the WWE. And according to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio, Daniel Bryan has chosen AEW because of their relationship with New Japan Wrestling. Now, at the end of the day, what does this all mean? Well, my personal opinion, I believe that if in fact Daniel Bryan is going to AEW, this is going to start a new I guess we can't say quote unquote Monday Night Wars, but I really firmly believe that this will start a war between WWE and AEW. No matter what Vince McMahon, or rather, Vince hardly does any interviews, but rather Triple H or Stephanie McMahon or anyone from WWE, regardless of what they say, that they're not paying attention to AEW, that this isn't a war. Part of me, yes, I believe that they honestly think this is not a war. That they honestly think this will never be a war. But Daniel Bryan going to AEW is going to start something. Because yes, we have seen Mark Henry. Yes, we have seen Big Show. And even most recently, Aleister Black going to AEW. But with the return of John Cena, and if Daniel Bryan goes to AEW and he appears there anytime soon, this is going to be the start of a war. Now, for wrestling fans, it could be a good thing. And I believe it will be a good thing. But at the same time, it might become ridiculous. Because this is a type of war that might just last less than a year. Because how many wrestlers can possibly come either back or go to AEW and have that same shock value? There's not that many. I mean, we understand, okay, John Cena's here. The Rock will come back most likely. AEW could combat that with Daniel Bryan, perhaps CM Punk. After that, I mean, who else? The likelihood of anyone from AEW going to WWE, it's probably not going to happen. At least not the core AEW superstars. There's just no way. Unless they're working out some type of deal with WWE and AEW, which is not going to happen. At least not anytime soon. I can't even imagine WWE helping AEW. No matter what anyone thinks, WWE is still the major league. Everything that they do, all their partnerships, all their cross-promoting, the AEW is not on their level at the moment. Will they get there? I believe so. But they need that big star. And I'm sorry. I know Kenny Omega is beloved by AEW fans, but AEW needs a megastar for that to happen. But that's a whole nother conversation. But right now, what we're talking about is a potential war that is going to take place. And at one point, I thought the WWE is in trouble. Because if you get Daniel Bryan and CM Punk over to AEW, yes, it is going to bring AEW that attention and that they need, to be honest. But WWE is not in trouble. Because what it appears to be happening is WWE in their last two shows, especially Friday SmackDown that just happened on July 22nd. Those fans in attendance, I would say 85 to even 90% were exactly what Vince McMahon wants. They are a pure WWE fan base. And this is all contributed to the fact that AEW is around. So going back to Daniel Bryan, if indeed he's going to AEW, this is going to start a war. I don't think it will last very long. But it's going to make things a lot interesting. That's for sure. Over time, we'll see other superstars without a doubt go to AEW. Perhaps Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Finn Balor. Later on, I'm sure that is going to probably happen. But WWE will not lose this war. Because I think that there is something that Vince McMahon has over Tony Khan. And that is probably what Vince had over WCW and Eric Bischoff. Remember when Bret Hart left and what Vince McMahon said? That Eric Bischoff will never know what to do with the Bret Hart. And I firmly believe that is going to happen with Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. Now, don't get me wrong. Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, they are one of the two smartest wrestling brains out there. But at the end of the day, you still need the quote-unquote machine behind you. And this is the problem AEW is going to face. And I believe until AEW fixes that problem and understands how to really be consistent with the storylines and really know how to create that impact. Because the way not Daniel Bryan, Mark Henry or Big Show appeared, and I understand they're not Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, but it just feels like as AEW doesn't know how to really bring somebody into the mix. Now, I understand Moxley's debut was tremendous. Sting's debut was tremendous given the fact that there was, through the pandemic and there wasn't a real strong live crowd on hand. But it's what you do with them afterwards. Because that shock value quickly fizzles. So with that being said, until AEW can prove that Daniel Bryan or any other superstar that they signed that is a big time player, until they can show that they can do something with them, WWE will always be on top. Now, of course, they will always remain on top because, like I said, their brand is the major leagues. What they have built and continue to build, and their brand reaches beyond AEW at this moment. And I understand AEW just started. But Vince McMahon and the WWE, they know what to do after there's a big shocking moment. I understand they're not perfect. And they have wasted talent or they have miscued a lot of opportunities. But for the most part, I just think for the mainstream fans, and yes, they do count. The mainstream fans equals dollars, equals advertisements. It's a whole different ballgame. AEW needs to put Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, if indeed they're going over there, on a whole nother level. This is their opportunity to have somewhat of the mega stars. And what I mean by that is, yes, CM Punk is a star. Yes, Daniel Bryan is a star. But remember, there is an honest difference between a John Cena, a Rock, a Brock Lesnar, but more so John Cena, Hulk Hogan, The Rock. Those are flagship players. Those are staples to any wrestling brand. Yes, Daniel Bryan is going to have matches with Kenny Omega and everyone else that's on that roster. Hopefully they will have classic matches, because if they can't put the whole picture together, they need to have classic matches. But at the end of the day, I believe that this will start a war between AEW and WWE. We're going to look back at this one day and be like, this was the moment that it became a war. And I believe that there is no doubt about it. I mean, perhaps John Cena was going to show up at Money in the Bank. Perhaps he was going to show up and confront Roman Reigns for SummerSlam. Could be. But there is no doubt that WWE knows what time it is. They had to bring Cena. They know Daniel Bryan is gone. They know CM Punk is probably on his way to AEW. Which is why The Rock is probably going to come back faster than he was really going to come. And that's a whole nother topic that we'll get into later. But mark my words, this will start a war. It's going to be great for wrestling fans. It's going to be great for the wrestlers. It's going to be great for wrestling, period. Or sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it. But of course, let us know in the comments. Let me know exactly what you think about Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. And if this is enough for AEW. Will they be enough? And does AEW know what to do with a Daniel Bryan and CM Punk?